Start recording. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Renee. What brings you in today?
Um, I think I'm just having a lot of anxiety. I started college this year. I'm a freshman, and I moved from such a small, tiny little town in Arizona, and my college is just huge. I'm going to ASU, and I feel like there's more people on campus than I've ever seen growing up. And since starting college, there's just a lot more diversity conversations in classes. And so I had a sociology class recently, and we were talking about racial inequity, and students shared some personal experiences. And I really wanted to respond to them and engage in the conversation, but I was just so nervous. I didn't know what to say because I had no experience whatsoever based on my upbringing.
Yeah, yeah. So I hear you saying that you felt uncomfortable, a little bit, not sure how to respond, but wanting to respond, wanting to share your thoughts, but not wanting to step on toes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I felt embarrassed after class because um, I was frustrated that I wouldn't just like speak up and maybe even share my own experience. I wanted to learn and participate, but I'm so scared of making a mistake that I just end up being quiet. And so I went back to my room and was so embarrassed. And I just don't have anyone to talk to because I feel like I'm the only person on campus coming from this background. I don't know anyone else. And I just don't exactly know how to navigate through and talk with people about it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm hearing that you didn't have much experience processing these types of issues growing up because there wasn't the opportunity. So first, I just want to normalize what you're feeling. The anxiety is normal when you're in a new environment, and that, as we're talking, issues of race and anything that you're learning in your classes and culture, they're totally welcome here. And we can process them together. We can even practice what you could say in those situations,
Mhm.
in those classes the next time. So this is an open
Yeah,
environment, so you don't have to feel bad about anything that you're thinking or feeling. It's all welcome.
that's really helpful. I think one of the things that I'm like really wrestling through is, do I talk to somebody else? Do I ask other students about their experience? Do I go to people, other white students that maybe I look like and ask them their experience? Because it sounds to me like they're having a different experience than what I am. And I'm just not exactly sure. Do I approach them and say, "Hey, how are you dealing with this? And can we have a dialogue about this?" I'm just not exactly sure what to do.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what gives you the impression they're having a different experience than you?
Um, I think because they're so willing to talk in class and engage, and they're not afraid that someone's going to judge them. At least that's how it appears to me. And they are not the minority in the class. And so, the people that are the minority sharing their personal experiences, I'm so thankful that they're sharing it, but then I don't know what to say back to them. And then I have other students that look like me that are responding, and I'm thinking, I don't know how to say that. I don't know why, you're able to respond to this. What was your experience? I don't know where they grew up or what their environment was, but clearly it's different than mine.
Yeah. So I'm hearing you say that there's just this conflict going on inside of you, and that maybe talking with one of these other students would help you understand their perspective and how they, are able to share. So, what would it be like for you if you maybe picked one of the female students and who was vocal in class and just struck up a conversation with her or asked her to, meet for coffee? Would you feel open to doing something like that?
Yeah, I think that could be helpful. I think I'm just scared to do it. I think I'm scared to
Mm.
have that conversation. I'm still learning about being really, really white. I just feel so white on campus, and everybody is so comfortable in their own skin. And I'm not exactly sure how to start the conversation. But I think maybe if I just found a girl that I feel comfortable with in my dorms, I could ask her, hey, could we go for coffee and talk about that? She's in my sociology class. So maybe I'll ask her if we could go and talk. And um, I'll just try and gently ask those questions. She seems really nice, so maybe that would be a good first start.
Yeah. And I'm also just thinking maybe what would it be like to talk with a family member? Maybe
Mm,
about how you're thinking, because growing up, it doesn't sound like this was a big topic of conversation because it didn't really maybe need to be based on
yeah.
your, um, community, makeup. What would that be like to explore that with a safe family member?
Yeah, I have an aunt that I think I could have that conversation with. I think my parents would really be like overwhelmed. They were already scared enough about me going to a big university and feeling like, what am I going to get exposed to and what's it going to be like? And so my aunt is a little bit more willing to have those conversations. So I could maybe ask her opinion, but I think my parents would totally freak out and they would
Okay.
think that I'm being told that I need to believe a certain thing or change who I am. And that feels a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So there's a lot of differences just in your family and
Mhm.
how people would respond to these issues of race and culture and ethnicity. How does that just difference within your family affect you?
I didn't think it impacted me until I got to college. And so I never really thought about it when I was younger because it's just what I knew. But a big part of me wanting to go away to college was that my town was so small. And, the majority of the people that lived in my town were partially related to me. And so I kind of wanted to experience the big world. But now it's more overwhelming than I expected. So I think I'm just experiencing a lot of fear and can I keep going? Can I stay here? Am I going to be okay?
Yeah. Well, that fear is normal when you're, experiencing something new.
Yeah.
Um, so we're almost out of time, but next time maybe we can explore what that conversation with your classmate might look like. Does that
Okay.
sound like a good idea?
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Cut.
All right.
7:54. Yay.
Yay. That was perfect.
Okay. I'm thinking back to my like skills class. I'm like, I asked way too many questions, but oh well.
I know. It's
It's,
okay.
it's a
I
different
think
thing.
this is a moment where we are supposed to ask questions. We're not just, you know,
Reflecting feelings.
reflecting over and over and giving space for them to keep saying things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so I think we're supposed to just kind of recap.
Hmm.
I
So,
think you did a great job.
so
I
did
think that,
you. That was really helpful. Good
yeah, yeah,
situation. Good
yeah.
persona.
Yeah, I think as the client, I felt really comfortable that you were acknowledging the conversations I was having about race. You didn't like give any weird facial expressions or like, oh, wow, yeah, that's a big
You're weird.
deal. You just felt really normal and easy to talk to about it, which made me feel like I wasn't being judged in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe even, if the conversation continued, more conversation about background, like pulling out, we ran out of time, but pulling out this could be something to really understand the client better is like, tell me more about what your parents have said about what it means to be in the big world, something like that, like
Yeah, yeah.
exploring that more. But I thought it was great.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm supposed to process what I might do in a future session. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, you mentioned like, yeah, being in the big world, being changed by,
Hmm.
being exposed to different things. Like I would have explored what that means, you
Yeah.
know, what their fear is that they're kind of your parents' fear is that they're
Yeah.
kind of pushing onto you and how you can process that and separate from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right.
okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay,
So
you can. End
Well,
recording on that one.
and recording.